Sarah is 31 years old. She works at a financial services call center in Lagos. Every morning, she puts on her headset, logs into her computer, and waits for the first call. The script appears on her screen. It tells her what to say, when to apologize, when to reassure, when to escalate. By lunchtime, Sarah has spoken to dozens of people. Most of them will never remember her name. She earns enough to pay her bills, enough to help her younger brother through university, enough to keep life moving. But every year feels strangely identical to the one before it. The strange thing is, Sarah is good at her job, not because she reads the script perfectly, but because people trust her. Angry customers calm down when she speaks. Confused customers leave with clarity. Some even ask to speak to her again. Nobody mentions this during performance reviews. One afternoon, her team leader forgets to lock his computer before walking into a meeting. For only a few seconds, Sarah notices the performance dashboard. Her name is in the top third of the department. Not for speed, not for sales, for customer resolution. She quietly looks away before anyone notices. Nobody had ever told her. She isn't disappointed. She's surprised. For years, Sarah has assumed everyone around her was better than she was. Now she wonders if that was ever true. The sales department sits only 20 feet away, close enough to hear their conversations, close enough to notice something that doesn't quite make sense. Some of the salespeople are louder than she is. Some interrupt customers. Some seem less patient, yet they earn considerably more. At first, Sarah assumes they must simply be better. But over time, another possibility begins to bother her. Maybe they aren't solving different problems. Maybe they're solving the same problems, from a different position. The thought refuses to leave her. During her lunch breaks, Sarah starts studying sales, not motivational speeches, not videos promising six-figure incomes. She studies frameworks, how to ask better questions, how to understand a person's real problem before offering a solution. The more she learns, the more uncomfortable she becomes. She realizes she has been practicing many of these skills for years. She just never called them sales. Every evening, she writes down small observations from her own calls. Which conversations ended peacefully? Which questions helped people open up? Which explanations created trust? Slowly, she stops hearing customers as problems to resolve. She starts hearing them as people trying to make decisions. She asks her manager whether she can spend a few hours each week shadowing the sales team. The answer is polite. There isn't any budget for cross-training right now. 3 months later, she asks again. The answer is exactly the same. Eventually, an internal sales position becomes available. She applies. The rejection email arrives 2 days later. Not enough direct sales experience? For a weekend, Sarah almost gives up. Maybe the company is right. Maybe this is simply who she is. Customer support, reliable, helpful, invisible. Then she asks herself a different question. What if the problem isn't my ability? What if it's the place I'm trying to prove it? A month later, Sarah accepts an offer from a much smaller financial services company. The salary is almost identical. The difference is that part of her income now depends on commission. Everyone congratulates her. Quietly, Sarah feels terrified. The first month is difficult. The second month is worse. Sometimes loyalty is admirable. Sometimes it quietly becomes inertia. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for your future is leave the room where nobody can see your value. Sarah didn't become a different person. She didn't suddenly become more confident. She didn't discover a secret that everyone else had missed. She simply stopped asking for permission to use a skill she already possessed. Perhaps that's where financial freedom really begins. Not with a higher salary, not with a better job title, but with the quiet decision to stop measuring yourself by the role you've been given and start measuring yourself by the problems you are capable of solving. Because ordinary people rarely escape the middle-class trap through luck. They escape it when they stop waiting for opportunity to recognize their value and begin taking their value to places where it cannot be ignored. If this story made you think differently about your own work, I'd love for you to join me on this journey. This is the second episode in a 6-part series exploring how ordinary people build greater financial freedom, not through shortcuts or luck, but through better ways of thinking, working, and living. Until next time, thank you for watching.